friends, welcome to Fairydust Crafts Podcast. Today is September 21st and this is episode 7 of the Fairydust Podcast. Welcome back to all of my previous viewers, and hello and welcome to anybody who's new here. I come to you from my craft room here in British Columbia, Canada. And I talk mostly knitting. I do like to dip my toe into any kind of fiber crafts or other crafts that there is out there. I'm also a quilter, but to be honest, I have not done much quilting in the last little while. So it's mostly knitting. That's what I like to chat about. And if you have any questions or recommendations, let me know in the comments below. Anything I talk about today, so be it, what am I going to talk about? Be it a knit along or any kind of the yarn that I use and the patterns. I will link to all of it down below in the show notes. So if you just hit the 3 little dots where it says more, and you'll get all of the information there. But I think that's everything. Admin that we got to talk about right now. Tomorrow I am joining Andy with All Points North Yarn Co. And we're driving down to Vancouver and attend Knit City Vancouver. I'm very excited about it. Also a little tired. I think both of us are. We've been working very hard in the last little bit to get everything organized. But if you do attend Knit City in Vancouver this weekend, come and say hi. We've got some beautiful yarn for you guys. You have seen me knit with her yarn, lots and lots. I always have a work in progress that is made with All Points North yarn. So if you are in the area and you would like to come to the show and you don't have tickets yet, you can still get those online, but there is no tickets at the door, so you'll have to go and get those online. It'd be lovely to chat with you guys and see you all. Come and say hi. We love to chat, and I always like meeting new people and talk fiber. That's why we do what we do and we do what we enjoy. So today's probably going to be a pretty short one, and you will see this probably tonight. Actually, I'm trying to edit the podcast and have it uploaded before I go to bed tonight, because we are leaving early in the morning tomorrow. I'm not really a morning person, and 5 a.m. is still the middle of the night for me. So today's going to be a little shorter. I do have 3 things to show you. I just kind of pick things out. I don't have any mail, but let's just get started with some finished projects. So my first half-finished object is this little beauty right here. I still have my stitch markers in there, which means that I have only completed number 1, but oh, look at this, so pretty. So these are the Grow Socks, GRO Socks by Fiber Tales, and I've used Drops Nord for this sock. It is so nice and fluffy. I don't know if it actually yeah, it does show up a little bit. It is very fluffy. It has a little bit of a halo. Drops Nord is an alpaca blend, if I'm not, let me just double check here. Drops Nord, alpaca and wool. So it is a sock yarn, so it has 30% polyamide actually, which gives it a nice structure. I really, really like it. And then 45% alpaca, 25 wool, and you can already see I have this beautiful, beautiful pink. And then this one is like the light gray or mid gray. I believe there's a lighter one too. So I already have like plans for this. But this is what's in my current project bag. I really, really liked how these little, they look like little, I don't know, like little leaves here, or like little, like little wheat stalk thingies. What are they called? I don't know. But they're really, really pretty. I love them. I was out and about when I was knitting these, and it is a very easy repeat. It is. The little leaves are actual cables, and I did not have a cable needle on me. So let me just see if I can find this in my project bag. This is, by the way, a project bag by me. I made this. It holds so much yarn. Let me just see if I can find this, because it's the most hilarious. Oh, did I chuck it? Nope. So couldn't find a cable needle, and the next best thing that I had handy was a paper clip. So I just opened up the paper clip and I put my stitches on this, and let me tell you, do not recommend. The stitches, because the yarn itself is quite fuzzy, the stitches kind of like just try to, they do shrink a lot, because this is like the skinniest little thing, right? And then I kept like, because the yarn is so fuzzy, I kept splitting the yarn and I didn't have a good time. So that tiny little cuff took me forever. It probably took me longer to knit the cuff than it did to do like heel and foot and toes. Like, that was not fun. I did not enjoy that. But as soon as I got home, I grabbed my cable needle and I put it in my project bag. So I am ready for sock number 2. And we've already talked about this in the past. I have already started my second sock. I'm using these little Chiago 9-inch. So I've already started my second sock, just so I have it started, and that way I won't have a random second sock. So I find, or random unfinished, like first sock finished, no second sock. Second sock syndrome is what we like to call it, where you just can't get to knitting that second sock because you get distracted, you don't want to, you want to knit something else first. So what I usually do is I cast on my second sock right away and knit, even if it's just 2 or 3 rounds, and get that done and over with, because I'm then using my needles, so my needles are already in use and I can't cast on anything else with them. And secondly, I already have a project started, so I don't get the whole like second sock syndrome as much anymore. Now that I've just started, like as soon as I cast off and I weave in my ends, I cast on my second sock, and I find I don't have random socks sitting around anymore. So that's what I've been working on, and I think I'm gonna bring this with me. I'll see if I can get the little cuff part done tonight before I go to sleep. So all I gotta do is just, you know, knit the sock, like knit the foot and do like the heel and the toes, and I can do that in my sleep. So it's like something I don't really have to think about. And then I have another finished partial finished project. So last week I said I have like something new to show you. I started, and I can't even remember if I've already talked about this or not. I may have. So I started following along Rowan's Midwinter Blanket, Midwinter Throw Knit Along. The pattern is by Martin Story and it is absolutely gorgeous. You get a square to knit every week, and then it's like if you follow it all, if you follow the pattern the way you're supposed to knit the blanket, you're knitting, I believe it's always 8 squares a week. Now I'm doing things a little differently. So they are using Rowan's, let me just have a look here. They're using Rowan's felted tweed, which is an absolutely gorgeous DK weight yarn. Now I did not have that available to me. I could have ordered it online, but it is quite pricey, and I thought if I get that amount of yarn for that price, I would rather make like a cardigan or something really nice for myself, and not have it in a blanket where like little kitty claws can get into. And I actually, like, we in our house actively use our blankets, so they get washed every so often, and you know, like they just chip dust and whatnot getting on them. So I need something, I wanted to do something that's not as pricey. So what I did, I used, this is really funny. So I used, why did I not put this in my notes? Okay, hang on. Obviously not prepared. I thought I was like so prepared today, but I am not, obviously. So I'm using Peyton's Classic Worsted Wool. Oh, we got a little bit of a glare. Peyton's Classic Worsted Wool. It is a true wool, like a woolly wool, non-superwash. And so like pure wash, new wool, and it is a worsted weight yarn. So 2 things. One of them is it is a worsted weight yarn, so it's quite a bit thicker than the blanket suggests or the pattern suggests. And the second thing is it is a woolly wool, so if I put this in the wash, it can felt, or it may very likely felt, which is okay because I'm kind of prepared for that, and I would like that to happen, even if it's just a little bit. So here's what I did. It is, the whole blanket is color work and a little bit of intarsia if you want to, if you don't want to carry floats around. So the way they knit it, it's just a regular color work. And that means that the back of your blanket or the back of every square will have floats, and then you'll have to deal with those floats. So you'll either just ignore it and you use it as like a decorative throw, or I've seen people knit like really, really nice decorative throws and they hang them on a wall, just like a wall quilt. I would like to use this blanket, and I am terrified that I will get like anything caught in those little floats, and then you pull it all out and not so much fun to knit, to fix. So I decided to double knit. What does that mean? That means I have one side, 2 sides. So it makes a quite a thick fabric, and this is the first square I've knit so far. Because it is double knit, it is quite a bit wider than it is tall, and it's supposed to be a square, but and I just cast this off last night, but when I pull it, I can see that there's quite a bit of give. So I will try and pull it into as much of a square as I can. I will block it. I'll have to figure out how to block it so it is a nice square. I've seen on people's project pages that they did the same thing. They double knit and they ended up with not a square. So I believe, and then there's one person who did the same thing and it ended up not really being a square, but then they went in and just blocked it real nice and it actually ended up almost square. If I get to a point where it is not quite but almost square, even if I can just stretch it out a little bit, I am happy, and like that's enough for me. At this point, I mean, I probably could, if I do like several side by side and I just do a strip, it's okay if they're rectangles. Like they're all gonna line up eventually. It's just not gonna be as long as it is wide, which again doesn't really matter because I can just flip it around, right? And I just saw that I believe I missed a row here somewhere. It almost looks like it, but maybe not. So double knitting is so much fun and super easy. I would love to maybe teach a class or a workshop in double knitting. I think that would be so much fun, and we'd all like knit something really cool together. But yeah, I love this. So this was square one. Now, because I'm using a worsted weight yarn, it is quite a bit larger. Mine measures 10 inches across, and the actual, I don't know if it's the finished or unblocked version of the original blanket square, is 6 inches, I believe. So what I will do now, just so I don't get bored with the pattern, I'm not gonna knit like 6 or 8 or however many of this square one because I'm like 5 weeks behind. I'm just gonna knit square 2 as my second square, and I decided this is my first, so my main color is actually this flax right here, and then my accent color for this snowflake here would be white. So my next one is gonna be the flax in the main color, and then this like, oh, what is it? Oh, navy. This navy here is gonna be my accent color because I think it's really pretty. So the original blanket comes in just 4 different editions, 2 of which are just 2 colors. And then I really like the original version, which is kind of like a cream, kind of like almost an in-between the 2 of these colors. And then a bunch of different, more like traditional Christmas colors. So there is like a green and a chartreuse and a yellow and like red and blues. So I will go for something a little more the traditional way. So there will be red in it, and there will be green and the navy and the white. I'm very excited, and this is not a Christmas project, and not like, obviously there's only 7 different squares. There's 7 weeks. This week is week 6. The 6th square came out today. So there's only gonna be 1 more week, and then like that's it, and I'll have the full pattern and everything. So this is going to be my winter 2023-2024 blanket, and what I'm going to do is every time I have one of these squares here done, I'm just gonna show you guys. Otherwise, I'm just not gonna bother talking about it anymore, because from here on forward it's just different motif, same square, or same process, right? I just wanted to show you how I did this, and I am working on getting tutorials done, and if you guys are into it, let me know in the comments, obviously, but I would like to give some input on double knitting. There are obviously like tons of tutorials out there, but I thought I would just give you guys access to some more here. I'm so excited about this, and it's such a beautiful yarn. It feels like in the skein here, it feels almost a little scratchy, but once you work with it, it softens up, and then even more so when you wash it. So woolly wool does not always have to be rustic and scratchy, especially when you wash it. There's like a million tricks you can do. But yeah, I'm excited about this. This is gonna be so nice and warm for our like cold winter days that we get here. Perfect. So my next project that I'm going to talk about will actually be my own personal knit along. So if you guys have been following around, or if you're following me on Instagram at all, which is, by the way, my main social media outlet, so you get all the information down below in the show notes. Hop on over there and give me a follow, and let's chat fiber. So if you're on either of my platforms, you know that I'm currently having a knit along, and I talk about it on Instagram, which I apologize, I have not done much in the last little bit, just because I've been really busy with all of my jobs and, you know, like everything, life, sometimes it just happens. So I haven't really done any Instagram lives, and I feel guilty about it. So next week, once I'm back from Knit City and we've put everything away, and I've had like just an evening of doing nothing. I'm actually really excited about that, and then going to bed early too. I will hop on Instagram. We'll do a quick little live, probably Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know. Depends on my schedule. I'm kind of like all over the place right now, but we'll talk about it a little bit. So we are all knitting the November jacket by Petite Knit. And it is a brioche jacket, or brioche cardigan, and it kind of like looks like this. Oh, there's my little blackbird right here. This is a stitch marker that I made myself. It's like a little crow, or like a blackbird. I think it's more blackbird. Oh, you can't really see it. I think it's more blackbird than crow. So it looks like I've gotten like so much done, but I actually haven't. So it is a brioche pattern for all of you who haven't seen the November jacket yet. It is absolutely gorgeous. It is not a beginner pattern, but I want to say if you're an ambitious beginner, and you may, and let's say if you've done a cardigan at all, you'll be fine. Because there's a couple new techniques, couple new things to do. People on Ravelry rate it as difficult, like it's the difficulty rating is really high. I do not agree. I think the brioche single color brioche is not hard. I think it's like super easy for like what it looks like too. It's like, it looks so complicated and crazy, but it's actually not. It's very straightforward, very simple. Once it clicks, I promise you it is so easy. Petite Knit has wonderful tutorials on her website that go like in depth with like anything concerning this cardigan, starting with literally how to cast on and how to do the little double knit button band here. So the way it is constructed is you start in the back here, literally with this tiny little square or tiny little rectangle, and then you do increases. So this is my outside here, or my right side. You do increases on both sides as you knit the top back here, and then you, depending on your size, you'll just knit down until you reach a certain length, and then you pick up stitches for, this is basically what it looks like, for the front. So these are the shoulders up here, and then this is your front part. So that's where I'm at right now. I am done with my one side, I think that's the right side, and now I'm just knitting on the other side, and then I will join these two parts right here, or three rather. So right side, let's look at it from the back. So it'll be your right side, and then, or no, right side. Where am I? Yes, right side and the back and the left side are all going to be joined, and then you knit back and forth until you have your desired length. So pretty straightforward. I'm not as far as I would like to be at this point, but I'm hoping in the next couple weeks or so that I'll really, and I already did this last week, I started kind of like focusing on this cardigan because I want to make a second one for my mama to give to her for Christmas. So I would like to have 2 of them finished. It is not too late to join me in my knit along. I have a group set up on Ravelry, so if you just follow the link below, it will take you straight to that group, and then you can just join in. The knit along started in September, mid-September, and it is going all the way until November 5th. And I am very, very certain that if you start now and this is your main project, make it your main project, you can still join in. I am very, very certain if you cast on, like even next week, you can still finish this by the deadline. The deadline is November 5th. And there are prices involved. Depends on how many people I have following along. There will be more than one, but I have one grand prize, which I have the main thing I haven't quite ready yet. Still, mea culpa. But there's gonna be one big thing, and I'm gonna go do a little bit of shopping this weekend at Knit City, and I'll get a couple little add-ons to that. So there will be a really fun prize. I have like everything like is already in my mind, in my head, and then next week, so I will have like little things already ready. So starting next week with episode 8, you will get little kind of like teasers into what will be in that big grand prize. So anybody who finishes before or on November 5th, just follow me along on Ravelry, show me your progress pictures. And then in order to enter for the prize, you'll just have to have a finished cardigan, and I would like to see a picture, obviously. So you can either post that in our Ravelry group. It's fun to just kind of like read along too. And if you have any questions at all, I highly, highly recommend going into that Ravelry group. I try to, I do check it daily to make sure that if there's anything in there, but Ravelry doesn't send you any updates at all. I don't get any notifications, so I have to like actively go in there. So if I'm like a few hours behind, you haven't heard from me yet, I will respond to it. Same with Instagram. I sometimes just don't have my phone on me. I try to always do, but sometimes I'm not one of those people who are always on their phone constantly. So sometimes it takes me like a couple hours or so, or, you know, if I'm at work, I may not respond, but you'll always hear from me, you know, the next day the latest. But I regularly check my messages and all of that. And if I don't respond because I've read it and I left you on read, it's because I read it because I had like a quick break somewhere and I didn't have time to respond. So just like nudge me a little bit. Anyway, so I am knitting my cardigan in Barocco Vintage in Douglas fir. It is such a beautiful color. It is my color. Everything is this color that I own and I love it. Follow me along on Ravelry or Instagram. I'm also using hashtag November for November. You'll see it like right below here. To kind of like send you all updated pictures, and if you do follow along, please use the hashtag. I have not taken pictures in a little while, so I will do that right after I'm done recording here, to give you guys like an idea where I'm at right now. It's definitely taking me a little longer right now, but once I kind of like get into it and make this my #1 main project, I'm sure I'll be done pretty quickly here. So that's what's been happening, really. I have been so busy. I am very tired. So I'm looking forward to having a little bit of a quiet night tonight, and I'll obviously gotta go to bed early tonight because I gotta get up so early tomorrow morning to drive down to Vancouver and go to Knit City. We will be busy, of course, but I will try to do a little bit of social media. So if you hop on to my Instagram, I'll update you with, you know, little videos and pictures, and I hope I won't forget, but I try to be better about that and just give you a little bit of an insight, like what's happening maybe behind the scenes at a yarn festival like that, or a fiber convention. But that's my plan right now. We'll see how incredibly tired we both are on Sunday night. And I hope we won't lose our voices. That usually happens because it is very hard to stay hydrated when you're so busy, and you talk to a lot of people. So I am so excited. It's been such a long time since I have been to Knit City. I hope to get to see some of you guys there. If you do see me, I'll probably be wearing my, depending on how hot it is, but the forecast is saying like wet and cooler, so I'll be wearing my pink stripes by Andrea Murray. So that would be me. Come say hi, and I'd love to chat. Otherwise, we'll see you guys here, same spot, roughly around the same time, similar time, next week. Until then, happy crafting. Bye.